Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Knowledge City. I am your host, the Crypto Connoisseur. Now, I know you used to see me behind the wheel, but today, Rablomile, Restele, or Pusha behind the scenes, and we are looking at the charts. Now, before we start, there's this African American proverb that I liked and I wanted to share with you. This was coined back in the days of the era of slavery in the United States. This is when Black people were denied the opportunity to learn. There was no education for Black people, Black folks back then. So when one of the people learned something new, it became their responsibility to go back and share with others. And the saying goes, each one, teach one. And I thought this will be my bit to share with the rest of the community. And hopefully, we can all reach the promised land. So without wasting any more time, let's go back. Let's go to our lesson for the day. Okay. So let's start with what is this thing called Bitcoin, right? A lot of us have heard about it. We hear that people are making money through it, but we don't really know what it is. So I'm going to take you through the actual Bitcoin white paper. I'm just going to pull an extract from the Bitcoin white paper. So Bitcoin is a purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash that would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. Now, guys, this is big. Just that statement alone is loaded. You can hear it. I mean, if I can send money electronically without the use of our traditional banking system, definitely banks and governments are not going to be happy with that. And unfortunately, that's what Bitcoin has went through ever since its inception. The forces that be has tried to keep it under wraps, keep it down, and ensure that people don't hop onto this bandwagon. So Bitcoin was created in 2009 by an unknown developer with the alias Satoshi Nakamoto. I mean, he's the guy that all of a sudden one day after the 2008 financial crisis, he wrote this white paper and he posted it on the internet. And ever since, it has caught fire. So the idea, like I said, it was to create digital money that's not controlled by governments. And guess what? It has worked. It has really worked. So let me take you through. So I go through these type of websites on a daily basis. They give you a pretty good picture of how the market is doing in the crypto industry. So you can just see this week, CFX is up 113%, STX is up 159, NEO, the tokens from China or Asia, it's up 37.8, Anchor is up 57, and then there's a whole heap that has gone red, as you can see in the background. These are the losers for the week. Where's our big papa? Where's Bitcoin? Can't see Bitcoin here. Let's just scroll down. Well, you can see on this screen below, it's all the tokens sorted by market cap. Now, Big Papa is the big brother of the crypto industry, right? So it's sitting up at the top at 459 billion US dollars. It's followed by Ethereum. Ethereum is sitting at 201. And then you've got Tether, BNB, and USD. Look, Tether and USD coin, these are stable coins. So they are not your traditional cryptocurrencies that you would buy and invest in. These are pegged to fiat currency. So they're pegged to the US dollar. So if you wanted to sell your Bitcoin or you sell your Ethereum, you might want to go into US Tether or USD coin or any other stable coin for that matter. So if we were to remove Tether and USD from this list, BNB would be number 3 and XRP would be number 4 and followed by Cardano at number 5. So yeah, this is our list. You'll see Polygon, Solana. These are popular coins. Shiba Inu, Litecoin. These are popular coins in the market, right? So what I want to do is I want to take you through the charts. And like I said before, I don't want to make it too complicated. I want the regular guy to be able to follow, right? So what you're looking at, look at this blue circle, right? What's in this blue circle is where we are currently. And where we are currently, I will bring out some of the oscillators. And where we are currently, the day traders will tell you that there is definite bearish divergence that we are seeing in the charts. So bearish divergence is defined as when your momentum is going one way and your price action is going the opposite direction. So if you look at this, let me just draw a line so that you can see what I'm referring to. If you look at this, at somewhere at this point, when was this? January 29th, towards the end of Jan, the momentum was sliding down. This momentum was sliding down, right? But price action was continuing to move up. Look at the most recent. When was this? Around the 17th of Feb, 21 Feb. Momentum is continuing to slide down, but price action is going up. This is clear bearish divergence, but it's on the daily chart. You know, this is what day traders look at. They sleep on these charts, they live on these charts, but I don't want you to look at that. You and I are going to look at this chart at a far bigger level. They say when in doubt, zoom out, right? So I don't want you to be focused on the day-to-day charts. This is what we're going to start, where we're going to start at. Look at the white lines. Look at the white lines show a rising channel. Now these white lines, they start, I started this, they start somewhere in 2011. Bitcoin started in 2009, right? In 2009. But the market started analyzing and focusing on Bitcoin somewhere in 2011 when it hit $10. It hit $10 and it went back down to about $2.50. And it started moving up and it continued on this channel. Now, what I want you to look at and focus on, I want you to look at the white lines. This is the rising channel, right? And then I want you to notice, I've got arrows, I've got red arrows and I've got yellow arrows. I'm going to come back to these arrows, but it's something I want you to focus on. So what Bitcoin normally does is it goes up, it hits a certain ceiling, right? It hit this ceiling in 2013, and then it came back down. It came back down to a support line. It came back down to what, in October 2015, to this level. Now it had used this gradient, this line, as a support structure, right? Previously. So it came back and it says, I'm going to find support here. And then after that, it took a couple of months, a few years, and it started its way up again. And it found the ceiling. And guess what? The ceiling is in line with the resistance line or the top of this channel, right? It hit the top of the channel, it came back down. And guess what? It did a similar thing where it goes back down to the bottom of the channel. So this speaks to, there's a saying in trading. They say charts don't repeat themselves, but they often rhyme. So when they say they often rhyme, they tend to do something similar to what they have done before, right? So this was the high of 2017. 2017, this is where I started opening my eyes to Bitcoin. This is when Bitcoin hit the high of 19,000, right? Then it came back down and it went and hit a low of, it went to about 3,200 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the low 3,000s towards the end of the year. And then 2018, well, that's 2018. And then 2019, for some reason, it made its way back up. But this rise was short-lived. This was a 6 months where Bitcoin did something that it was not, we are not used to this rise. This was too quick, too fast. It came back down to 3,000 again. But when it came back down, this was the COVID crash. All markets went down during this time. I think this was March 2020. All markets went down, right? And then Bitcoin continued to move up again. And so did all asset classes continue to move up. But now, something different has taken place. For some reason, we seem to be in a different channel. If you look at the white line, we seem to be deviating away from the white line somewhat. Seems like we've got a new channel that we are creating if you look at the green lines. So 2017, we hit this top, there's the green line. We hit this bottom, there's the green line. Then we hit this top again in 2021, and we seem to be deviating into this green line. I'm not saying this is going to be the new structure that Bitcoin is going to follow, but it's hard to argue with the chart, right? So let's say we are in this green chart. The white line still plays a role. If you look at where we are now, we are below the long-term support structure being this white line. Now we are below it, and it's now a resistance point. And if this white line is a resistance point and it started all the way, where did we start this line? All the way in 2011. That's where we started drawing this line. This is a serious resistance point. I mean, Mumzanti would say, stop nonsense to say. This is Wiki Park Station here. This is where everything is going to hold. So we expect some resistance on this line. Now, we don't know where Bitcoin is going, but where we are, where the market is, there's certain expectation. We expect this to be the bottom of the cycle. We are not saying this will be the bottom of the cycle, but based on previous history, this just might be the bottom of the cycle. And supporting that statement, let's go back to the arrows that I mentioned at the beginning, right? If you look at this red arrow, this red arrow starts on the first. So these candlesticks, every candle represents a month, right? This is a monthly chart. So this 2013, this is where we saw the top. My arrow starts on the next month after we hit the top. So if you look at where the arrow starts and where it ends, so it ends where we see the lowest point, the bottom of the cycle. This is where my red arrow ends. This is just the time period. So from where this candle starts to where it ends, it was 396 days, right? 396 days. This is a full year, a year plus, right? And then Bitcoin started creating market structure here, and then it started making its way up. Now, look at the yellow arrow. The yellow arrow starts 1 month after, this is the next month after this bottom of the cycle. So it starts here, and the yellow arrow continued till the top of the cycle. This is the top of the cycle. So if we align the arrow with this month, the yellow arrow has taken 1,034 days. 1,034 days is it's a 3-year period. So all that you're looking at is, this was the beginning of the cycle. The yellow arrow shows the beginning of the cycle. The red arrow shows the end of the cycle. So I keep saying Bitcoin moves in 4-year cycles. So in a 4-year cycle, Bitcoin moves, it creates market structure on the first year, then it starts making its way up for the next 2 years that follows, and then it reaches the top of the cycle, and then it makes its way down. The same thing has happened on post 2018. You see here, 2017, we hit a high. This is the first month after the high. And then it took us 334 days to reach the bottom. We created what we will call market structure here. And then Bitcoin then continued for another 1,035 days before we saw the top here. Now, this is the highest point from our previous cycle. Now, we've currently been on this downtrend. This is where we've been so far, right? And this is our current current point. And since our top of the cycle to what we believe now could be the bottom, it has been 365 days. If you look at this thing, it's not exactly the same amount of time as the previous bear cycle, but it's close enough. I mean, this is 334, this is 396. Where we are currently, we've calculated 365. So we could have marked our bottom here. So I'm not saying this is it, but I'm gonna bet my pretty penny that this is it. So I'm layering in currently. So you have your own choice to make. If you believe that Bitcoin is gonna still go below this point of 15,000, you can wait and purchase your Bitcoin when it hits the 14, 12,000 that some analysts are looking at. So, but if this is the bottom of the cycle and we look at the yellow arrow and we count another 1,035 days, Bitcoin might just see the top somewhere in November 2025. Like we say, I'm not saying this is the gospel, this is what's going to happen, but guys, the charts are rhyming, and I think you can see the evidence in that. So look at Bitcoin in a long time frame, in a longer time frame. Look at it in a monthly time frame, and you'll start seeing that Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin goes down. If you start looking at Bitcoin on weekly charts or on daily charts, it begins to make a lot of noise. I mean, the upswings becomes too violent, and you are going to invest too much time in it, and what it will do is you're going to confuse yourself. You're going to hear sentiment from multiple analysts, and you might not invest in time. But if you look at it at a zoomed out level, you will see that, wait, we are in an area where I personally should be investing, and I shouldn't worry about this for the next 2-3 years. If you apply that type of thinking, I can promise you're going to see a lot of gains when we see the next market top. We don't know where Bitcoin is heading, but there's other indicators that we can use to do calculations, to do Fibonacci's, where we can predict where Bitcoin is going. Some have predicted Bitcoin will hit 100,000. Some have predicted 400,000. We will do those in the next videos. For now, I just wanted you to get a feel, get a picture of what Bitcoin does on a year-to-day, month-to-month basis, on a longer time frame. And you'll see that there's nothing to worry about. These are just the ebbs and flows. This is what Bitcoin does on a regular. So don't be scared. Start layering in, guys. If you're going to buy now, this is where you'll be buying. This is where you'll be buying, and you can see it's very far from the top that we reached a year ago. So when you buy here and you reach the top, it's at 25. The top was at 69. You'll probably 3 times your money by the time we reach this level. So guys, layer in, be brave. If you find this type of education fruitful, so please follow me, subscribe, share with your friends and family, and hey, let's expand this channel. We can only get better when we're getting feedback from you and when we're getting the love from you. So like I said, this is the Crypto Connoisseur coming back to you with another video. We will do this again probably next week, and I'll show you different indicators. On that note, Mzansi, peace out.